Seeds, and welcome to Soulful Sunday, a weekly feature where we dive in and take a look at the energies for the upcoming week. So today we are going to look at the energies for Sunday, January 9th, all the way to Saturday, January 15th. Before we start, I just want to say a special thank you to those of you that came out to the half-an-hour Sacred Soul Circle virtual. We did a really powerful guided meditation where we balanced our own energies, but we also did grid work specifically on the country of Canada. So sending some light work and light energies and frequencies there. So if you came out for that, thank you so much for coming out. And yeah, it was my highest honor to facilitate that and to be able to do that. So thanks a lot. And now we are going to dive right into the energy stuff. So first thing that came up for this week, I have to say, so last week when I channeled the energies for last week's Soulful Sunday, you know, I got these really beautiful, powerful, positive light messages. And then I live in Ontario, so we're back in lockdown now. So I sort of was a little bit miffed by that, or pissed off, obviously, for a plethora of reasons. But I was annoyed because I channeled this beautiful positive message, and then like a few days later it was like, what the hell? So I was sort of like, Spirit, like, I got a bone to pick with you guys. Like, I came on camera, I channeled all these messages, like, what is happening here? So an analogy that was given to me was okay, so if it's, let's just say you're like in a dark, dusty, gross room and you can't see anything. If you click your flashlight on and you blast a corner with light, and say there's bugs in this room, like you see all these bugs and there's a lot of activity and the bugs start to scatter. So basically the analogy energetically from Spirit that I got in terms of that is what is happening is there are still a lot of light frequencies hitting the planet like I channeled last week, but what's happening is it's like the flashlight is being blasted at all these dark places all over the world, not just Ontario, not just Canada, I understand that, but everywhere. So where anything that is super dark that the light hasn't touched yet is coming up to the surface to get looked at. So from a human perspective, it seems like everything is going to shit because all this dark stuff is happening and more stuff keeps happening and it's like round and round we go. But what's actually happening is that we are moving forward, but this stuff has to get looked at first. So this stuff is getting exposed, we'll say, by the light and coming up. So it seems like, oh gosh, it's not going well, but really it's getting exposed so that it can come up and it can move. So we can move forward towards these new systems, new types of leadership, etc. that are definitely coming in, but it does take some time. Remember, this is a really dense reality, and there's still some lessons for humanity to learn. Okay, so then the next message that I got, so there are certain countries that are stricter or harsher with these restrictions and these lockdowns than others. And I was sort of like, why is that? Like, you know, like what's going on here? So a message that I got is that there is an element of historical energy in countries that have stricter, that are stricter than others, let's just say. So this energy of stifling, closing in, limited, stunted energy are shooting up to the surface to be processed and felt by the collective on an energetic level in the geographical spaces that these events from the past have occurred. I thought that was pretty interesting. So the next message that I got, and I wrote it out in all caps, purging. And then I got another analogy of like hoarders, like a hoarder's house analogy. So the old systems or the people that are currently in power are holding on to these old systems and their power for dear life, the same way that somebody that is a hoarder and struggles with that, if somebody comes in to help them clean their space or their home, there's an attachment to their objects, and they want to hold on to them and they don't want to throw everything out. typically. So that's the analogy that I got, that these old systems and people in power are holding on for dear life to these old ways. And that the universe is the facilitator, like the one who's coming in and is like, time's up. Either you're part of the change, you're part of, you know, helping to clean out your house, or you're getting evicted. Like that's enough. That's the analogy that I was given. And then the next message I got was, it's more like, it was a question of like, what can you do, right? Like there's a lot of stuff happening. So as we're watching this, and like a lot of us are just like, okay, but what can I do? Like, what can I do? Like, I'm not part of these, I'm not in these positions of power in these systems. So like, what can I do? What pull do I really have here? So you are a lot more influential than you think you are, and you have a lot more pull and power than you think you do. It causes a ripple effect in whatever pocket of wherever you live, anyone you interact with. You don't necessarily have to be in a position of power to have the power to create that ripple effect, and, you know, in your own little pockets in your own community. So the messages I got in terms of what you can do: hold the light, keeping your hope. Remember last week we talked about keeping your light, and like that's like your life wrap, like the buoyancy of hope. Speak up about what's wrong and what you feel strongly about in your authentic truth, but with compassion and kindness for others who are not quite getting it yet. Yeah. It's important with the throat chakra. It's important to be speaking about things that aren't jiving with you, and things that are not right, and things that are not that you feel are not in alignment for the highest good of the collective, and shady things that are coming to the light. It's important to be able to talk about that and express that, but we can do that. We can still do that with kindness. Like, you can still be pissed off and frustrated about things, but there's a way that, like, what I'm hearing is just like being mindful of words, or like softening words when you're expressing that. Like, hang on a second. Because, like, I also feel like, you know, if you're mad and you need to express your anger, that's really healthy too. Like, it's okay to be mad, of course. But I just think what we're just being asked to consider is like having a bit more of a delicate nuance between how we are expressing ourselves, if it's to somebody that feels differently, and like, so that there's an opportunity, I'm hearing, for like a conscious conversation to happen with two different opinions, and holding the light that way. I hope that makes sense. That's the message that I'm getting. Yeah, speak up about what's wrong in your authentic truth, but with compassion and kindness for others who are not quite getting it yet. If we come at them harshly, or I told you so's, or it's my way or the highway, or have you seen this study, look at this study, like blah 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 blah, that's going to get cause some people to get their back up, right, and get defensive, and then there's no grounds for a conscious conversation or a healthy conversation. And if you're not capable of doing that, or they're not capable of doing that, then just remove yourself from the situation. Okay, so then the last message that I got was your awareness and ability to observe neutrally while keeping your faith will help you get through this week. I wrote this week, but I feel like also like this month, this year. I think that's discernment and observing with awareness is a good skill to have. So some of us need to work on that. I definitely do sometimes too. So that is the message. And I also wrote on the side of my paper, the sun is setting on those who have overstayed their welcome. Okay, so we're gonna do a card pull, and this is a new deck. So this is I really like this deck. So the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. And I will say, full disclosure, I am not a tarot reader. I just pretty much work with oracle cards and do readings with oracle cards, but there is something about this deck, like the artwork is just so beautiful. So yeah, we're gonna pull some cards, want to see what's gonna come through, but I'm not a like classically trained, I guess, or whatever, tarot reader, so I don't know all of the meanings, but I do like the imagery, and I'm still going to be able to get messages from the cards. So we're just gonna see, are there any other messages that we need to know, the collective needs to know, anyone watching this video needs to know for the upcoming week. All right. Okay, so gotta make some room on my table here. Oh gosh, so we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We pulled 8 cards. I was trying to pull like 3 or 4 just because I'm like not that familiar with this deck, but you know what? We're gonna roll with it. Okay, so we got 4 of Cups. And honestly, I feel the same as this girl looks like in the photo. Like, are we done yet? I feel like this is a representation of all of us. Like, are we done yet? Like, I am so over this. Like, my cup is empty. I don't have any more cups in my handbag. Like, I am just, when is everybody else going to wake up? I am so over this. That's the energy that I get. Meanwhile, so I also see, I'm interpreting this as, hang on a second. So I don't know if you can see the colors, but like, so she's so like over it and her focus is over here, but behind her is this like beautiful, like healing light and light energies and frequencies. So like the change is here. We just can't see it yet because we're here, over here, being like, are we there yet? Is it over? But like it's here, it's already here and it's coming, but it's just a little at a time. That's what I feel. Okay. I'm just gonna flip all these cards over. So the next one that I got is Page of Pentacles. And I am interpreting this card as like balancing, but I also sort of interpret this almost like a medicine wheel and like a balancing act and something to do with like working with the elements, like for us to get back in touch with our roots in terms of like being in tune with nature, like grounding, like earth energy, water, fire, air, ether, something really sacred about that. Yeah, and I see also like her feet, or her foot I should say, is like has like a kind of a mandala at the bottom, but I see this as like energetically getting more in tune with the earth, and that's going to help bring us into balance, because right now she's on one foot, but if she put the other foot down, it would really help to be, yeah, I don't know, that's how I'm interpreting this card. I think we're going to leave it there for that one. Getting out in nature if you can, spending time in nature, being more connected to nature, and starting to connect with the elementals more. So the elementals of, for example, water, if you live near a stream or you can go near a stream, just sort of connecting intuitively with that and seeing what kind of messages can come through. But make sure that you are grounded and you ask that any messages that come through are for your highest benefit. Okay, so we have the wheel. And it's sort of weird because this woman in this card is in almost the exact same position. It's like this balancing act on one foot, but I also see it's like the light and the dark. So I see this as a representation of a lot of us like navigating and trying to, it's like this balancing act of polarity. It's like we're hopeful, but then we're like, shit. We're hopeful, oh, but shit, now this happened. So just like becoming almost like an alchemist, or like mastery of the polarity and understanding that that is part of the experience while we are here. So the next card is Ace of Wands, and I see this as crown chakra activation for a lot of us, even those of us that have already pretty activated crown chakras. It's like it's even higher, and like our gifts are heightened, and we're getting, a lot of us, like new gifts are unlocking for us, and we're becoming more aware and more psychic and more intuitive. But I also see this as like fire energy, going back to like the medicine sort of wheel element stuff I was picking up on in this card. Connecting, like, yeah, like even like lighting a candle and connecting with the flame intuitively, like, and just allowing it to, like, I don't know, connecting and seeing what happens. Like, I don't know, like, it's kind of cool. Yeah, like tapping, but also, okay, here we go. So tapping into your inner fire too, your inner fire, and that can look like speaking your truth in a balanced way, like we talked about earlier. That's what the message is. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Okay, so then the next card is the Sun, and this girl is vibing. She is loving life. She is connected to Source and her higher self. And I see this as like symbolism for those of us that are going to continue to, like, just the encouragement of continuing to be in tune with your inner light and Source or the universe or God or whatever title resonates for you. But I just feel like this is like that hope frequency too, like that hope and light buoyancy frequency that is helping to carry us through these like darker times. It's like a little bit darker on the card here. And I got something last week about the sun and vitamin D, I'm just remembering, so that's kind of interesting that came up again. Okay, so next card is King of Cups. And it's interesting because this is sort of towards the end. So the first card we pulled was the Four of Cups. And all these cups are empty. She's over it. She's so tired. But then I see this card as like, and obviously too, like there's some water frequencies, water elementals. But this man has gone within and he's staying present. And he's allowing his cup to refill itself by being more connected to the elements and to nature, but also himself and his inner truth. And then Knight of Wands is the next one that I got, but I am interpreting this card. I see that she's got a drum, and again, it's like that inner fire. This is very much free spirit. Yeah, a lot of us are, like a lot of us just are yearning for this free spirit energy and not feeling so like locked down and stuck and stagnant. Like we want to be able to like play music and dance and okay, so what is the message with this card? So the message I'm getting with this card is, like, I heard the words make your own fun. Like the way at first I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm gonna say that, make your own fun. Like, how many years are we into this and lockdowns and stuff, and you tell people make your own fun? Again, it's going back to this inner fire, and I feel like the message in terms of making your own fun, like music, like the frequency of music and sound, and there's so much healing in that. So like taking some time to listen to songs that you really like, or reminiscing with songs and dancing and feeling that energy. I don't know, there's something there with like music. It's like we've sort of like lost our touch with all this hoopla and everything else that's been going on. I think these cards are sort of suggesting, or not sort of, they're definitely suggesting to get back in tune with nature and the elements and music and just things that make you feel alive. Like, even if it's just you listen to one song that you absolutely love, and just for those 3 minutes and 20 seconds or whatever, like you're just vibe with that song, dance it out. And then last card is the World. This is very cool. I hope you can see it. And I like this card a lot because of the, there's the flower of life or seed of life energies. And there's also some like sacred geometry happening here. And I just, yeah, it's just like, it just goes back to like finding what makes you feel alive and connecting back to what it is that brings you joy and lights up your inner light. And like, this is so sacred. This is so sacred. Like, whoever, like, you get to decide who's in here. Like, and nobody needs to be in there. This is like you in your inner space, and your inner light. And it's actually a snake. I'm not sure if you can tell, so I also feel like there's a bit of Kundalini activation happening here, cobra spine energy, and that could be also traveling up to the crown. That goes back to that crown chakra that we were working with. Okay, so thanks for coming to my first tarot card read on camera. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. First, we're just going to do a quick recap. So messages for this week: the flashlight and bug analogy, shining the light on the dark places and all the bugs scattering. Historical energy in countries that are stricter than others. And these are shooting up to the surface to be processed and felt by the collective on an energetic level with geographical importance, depending on where you are located. Purging, the hoarder's house analogy. It's time to go. You don't have to stay. What is that? You don't have to leave, but you can't stay here. Oh, I can't think of that saying. There's a saying. Anyways, whatever. So purging, hoarder's house analogy, old systems and power holding on for dear life, and the universe is like, time's up. You either help be a part of the solution, help to clean this mess up, or you're out. And what can you do? Holding your light, holding your hope, speaking your truth, but with kindness, balance, and awareness. And your awareness and ability to observe neutrally while keeping your faith will help get you through this week. So I hope those messages were helpful for you. If you've made it this far, please give this video a like, share, comment, subscribe. Always love to hear from you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you back here next Sunday for the next Soulful Sunday. Namaste. Ciao.